Yes, these are Michelin's all-weather floor liners made specifically for the 2025 and 2026 Tesla Model Y Juniper. They claim a precise custom fit, better grip around the pedals, and almost complete protection throughout the vehicle. But at almost $240, are you paying for more protection, or are you paying for the Michelin name? So today I got my hands on the entire set, and I'm going to be installing it on my brand new Tesla Model Y Juniper. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be scoring them on 5 different areas: fit, coverage, material, cleaning, and value. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you a score out of 10 and tell you whether they're worth your money or not. You probably discovered something that's pretty frustrating, is that the footwell of these cars are not the same as the previous Model Y. So accessories that you might have bought from the previous car will not actually fit this new Model Y Juniper. That's especially important with the driver's side floor mat. A floor mat that doesn't fit properly isn't just ugly. It can move around your feet, it can actually interfere with your accelerator pedal, or worse, your brake pedal. Now, Michelin claims that these liners were actually measured specifically for the Tesla Model Y Juniper. This particular kit is exactly for the 2-row Tesla Model Y Juniper, which starts with the 2025 all the way up to the 2027, excluding obviously the Model Y L. They are very flexible. Now these are 3D printed to fit perfectly, but let's see if it actually does. You can see this whole raised edge right here. So you have additional protections. This is my favorite part, where you have these section right here that extends all the way from where the footwell is all the way underneath this little square cubby. Now I will have to dox a few points for the fact that this doesn't have completely raised edges. There is a bit of a bump up right here. Once I do the water test in here, I'm going to assume that the water will stop here because this goes up and then it comes back down. But beyond that, I love the pattern. It looks like Michelin, obviously. You got the Michelin logo right here, but it does have the Michelin tire treads right in this little area, which is where primarily your foot's going to rest. And then these channels are really deep. Spill something or dirt, it'll trap it all in here. The tire treads are really well positioned underneath your heel right here, so at least your foot's not sliding up and down when you're using the accelerator or the brake, if you use the brake. But you do have protection from your heel right here at the bottom with a raised edge. In terms of sliding, it's not too bad. I mean, obviously you're not going to constantly be going like this, but those little spikes underneath it is doing the job really well. This is actually very, very flushed to the bottom of the floor here. So there's actually, there's no bouncing, that it's not popping up, it's not folding over. One of the most annoying things about some other all-weather mats is that this area is always a problem child. It's very inconsistent brand to brand, where this is always sticking up. One thing that I know that most of you have seen in these all-weather mats, especially in the passenger side, is that this always is like this. It's always sticking out. It's annoying because your passengers are constantly trying to fix it, kicking it down, but this is perfect. That actually go into making these all-weather mats to account for these new little nuances for the new Model Ys. I love that it's covered. This is the biggest thing that I had with my previous ones, but again, it doesn't come up like these do on this side over here. Still, I would just prefer that to have a little bit more raised edges. That is a lot of dirt. You can see that the dirt is really just seeping in through the channels. I'm not touching much of that dirt, so that when I'm using the accelerator or emergency braking, this dirt, let me move my foot, is not actually impeding me from actually getting the job done. Yeah, you can see that all of it went through the channels. You can literally just shake and beat that off. All that dirt and debris is virtually gone. Cleans up pretty easily. Now, what happens if you spill liquids onto these mats? Hopefully you're not pouring your drinks into your floor mat and it just spills like that. You can see how the channels are doing their job. Everything just kind of goes all the way down the channels to the edges right here. But even me pushing down on this right here, you can see it's going to be stopped with this raised edge right here. Same thing with this other edge right here. And the good thing about these, since they're so flexible, you can literally bend them like a taco to prevent any of this water to come into your carpet. They fit perfectly in here, and they have enough of a raised edges. You can see right here along the edges, it fits perfectly. Now, it doesn't go all the way down here. Beyond that, you can see all the way in the back, it's got these raised edges for those heels not to be always kicking the back of this carpeted area. It does go all the way deep into that little cubby area perfectly. One thing that I will call out, the front two mats do cover the door sill area. This does not. This cuts off right here. I'm not too worried about the door sill because I do have this part right here to protect this. It does have these Velcros in every direction diagonally right here, which helps with keeping this in place. It still leaves this area exposed. I will take some points off of this. Even down here, you can see that it's not covering the carpeted area all the way. Now, it does have these little bungees. I'm not really sure what these bungees are for. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like loop them over this or this is for something else. I don't know. Good enough coverage, enough traction. I wasn't 100% sure where this went because of the way it's contoured in here. But basically this is to protect this section. This one does have the shape of this little bump area right here, but it doesn't go all the way. That is huge points taken off of this one. But it doesn't have, see, like even me moving it side to side. Now, is this a big deal? No, not really, because the amount of times this gets used, at least in my Model Y, is very little. In case I do put something or something spills while it's in here, it does have some protection in here. But you see, it's the only one so far that's not all the way to the edges, and even me moving it around. Now, before we put the top piece right here, let's actually remove this old one. This one's perfect. It does line up all the way to the edges. There is no give whatsoever. It goes all the way to the edges here, and there's no gaps at all in any of the edges right here. Now for the piece of resistance. Ta-da! It does have a little rivet or divot right here, which I know it's for folding this. So when I fold it, it bends in that same section right there. But if I spill something in here, hopefully these channels catch it. So it goes all the way down. If it goes over this, it's definitely going into my carpet right there. This actually is the first piece I've seen so far that doesn't have those little rivets underneath this to hold it in place. That's probably why this has a little more give when I'm moving it around. Now back here, there's not a whole lot of moving around. It's just placing stuff on it. So it is protecting the carpet underneath this. You can see there's a little bit of a gap in between, but that's okay because you need some space for the seats to be able to go back up and back down. So you don't have anything interfering with that. You can see that it does have the little outlines for these little sections right here. It is pretty secure because it's underneath the weather seal right here. Like it's tucked in right here. It does go all the way. So it is covering all of this carpeted area. So when I close this, and once you put this down, the trunk cover here is kind of doing most of the work to hold this into place. In the frunk, you do have a drain plug down here. The challenge with these is that it doesn't have a cutout for it. You can see that it doesn't go all the way to the edges. So this is the second one that it's not 100% perfect. And Michelin man. After installing and testing everything here today, here's what I like. They fit every crevice. They have covered every side angle in here. And these are small, tiny little corners where the Tesla manufacturer has these little weird corners that they built in. But Michelin went ahead and even accounted for that. And even down in the footwell in the driver's side, right next to the footrest, even that corner on the inside is actually well thought out to make sure everything is completely flushed. Also, the other piece that I liked a lot about the set is that the bottom part has all these little rivets that basically place down and hold it in place. Not to mention that the top layer where my feet are actually on are pretty grippy. So even when I move my feet around, these things do not move at all. They simply don't sit on top of the carpet, but they integrate very well into each of these sections. My second thing that I really like about these, the driver's side grooves provide a noticeable traction, especially with wet feet, with dirt, or even when you spill something inside them. And number three, the material feels durable without feeling stiff, cheap material that you would get probably from somewhere like Temu. And finally, the larger bundle protects much more than the passenger floors. Makes it useful for large families, dogs, road trips. Now they aren't perfect. My first concern is the price.
At around $219 at time of this recording.
For the full set, these are competing with well-known brands like Tesla, 3W, Tuxmax, and 3D Max Spider. The second one seems pretty simple. You need to make sure that you're checking the configuration, making sure it actually fits your specific Model Y. They will not fit a previous Model Y or the Model Y L or the Model Y Standard. Overall, these mats are great. Final score is this. Fit, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Everything fits perfectly in the front, in the rear seats. In terms of coverage, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, mainly because the areas that matter the most to me actually are perfect, including that back portion underneath the seats. The materials are a 10 out of 10. This material is strong, it's flexible, it's easy to clean. Cleaning, I gave it a 10 out of 10. You can just hose it off with your watering hose. Now the value does take a little bit of a hit in this one. I did give it an 8 out of 10. You can get smaller kit. If you're planning on only doing the passenger, the driver, and the rear seat, these are perfect. Overall score, it's an 8.5 only because of those small areas and for the price that it is. And if you're interested in this set or any of the other sets, I placed a link in the description below for you to check it out. If you found this test helpful, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below and tell me, would you consider this particular package that I showed you today, or the smaller package, or the Tesla OEM, or option number 3, which is whatever other brand that you would prefer. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video.